measures as well as long-term financial stability plan to fund it. What do you guys think of that, and are you worried that the price that the Speaker wants for Medicaid reauthorization is too high?
So we need to see exactly what those proposals are. Our caucus has been consistently supportive of making sure that all Ohioans have access to health care. And we know that when preventative health care in the long term is available, it is very cost effective. So we're going to look and see what the proposals are, and then continue our consistency in supporting that every Ohioan have access to health care.
Can you talk more specifically about the healthcare side of it? You mentioned why it's important to have access to healthcare. Can you talk about specifically what you might introduce to achieve what you want to achieve?
Yeah, I'm just going to speak just to put that in context. So we are here to talk about our priorities in the budget. We do anticipate that we will have another press conference with a rollout of some of our priorities tied to policy initiatives that we plan to offer in this General Assembly. That will be post budget and maybe post State of the State within the next 30 days or so. And so we're unprepared to talk about those policy initiatives so much as just our broad frame of what we are hopeful will happen in the upcoming budget. And it's no coincidence that the Finance Committee is standing here because this is really in the context of what we hope to see by way of priorities in the budget. It is not meant to be a policy rollout or anything specific, but that will be forthcoming. And Leader Strayhorn is working with all the members of the caucus to help us figure out where our priorities lie, and then we will roll that out in the near future.
Will addressing harmful olive oils be a priority and environmental issues be a priority?
I'm sure environmental issues will be on the list.
Is it safe to say, given what Representative Cera was saying, that you generally oppose some of the tax increases that the governor has offered in the past because of it sounds like what he plans to do with it? Is that the main? When you were mentioning the cigarette tax, there have been, I know some Democrats have said they could see that as a positive depending on what the money was used for. Same with severance tax. Is that sort of what you're saying?
And I'll let Jack come up, but what we're saying is that we want to see a tax structure that's fair. And the reduction in the income tax has created a situation of imbalance because it impacts lower class and middle class people, and it hits them harder than it does the wealthiest amongst us. And so that's what we're saying. We do not want to continue the tax shifting where we've got a reduction in the income tax, which favors the wealthiest, and we take that and say, okay, we're going to now have to increase the sales tax or promote local levies and have the locals pay for services because we just cut the income tax. So that's what we're saying. We're tired of the tax shifting. It's a shell game. Services need to be paid for. It's just a matter of how you pay for them, and we want everyone to have to pay their fair share. That's what we're saying.
So taxes such as increasing the cigarette tax or the severance tax, even though those might border on priorities that you would have generally because you feel like this, because it's cutting the income tax, you're against it.
Again, so I'm not specifically referring to the severance tax or the cigarette tax. I mean, all of that will be discussed in the context of the budget. We'll take a look at all that. What I'm saying is that we need taxes that are fair and that do not benefit one group of people over another group of people. I think our point is that, look, the middle class needs to be able to participate in this economy, and that's how you grow economies. And that you don't grow economies by helping the folks at the top tier reduce their tax burden instead of reducing the tax burden in the middle class, because that's where you generate economies. And so that's kind of our overall premise, and that's what we're talking about. We are not prepared to talk about specific taxes because we don't know what's going to be in front of us.